What's going on, everyone? Faster Than Reloading here. This is Jeff and Anthony. Just going to do a quick video, some breaking news from Jason Schreier at Kotaku regarding 2020's Call of Duty game. Jeff, why don't you fill everyone in and then we'll talk about it?
Yeah, so just starting off with the major news headline, sources, Call of Duty 2020 in upheaval as Treyarch takes over, plans Black Ops 5. So here are the pretty much major talking points from this article. Treyarch is leading Call of Duty 2020 with Raven and Sledgehammer as support. Of course, Sledgehammer was supposed to be working on this following the 3-year dev cycle from 2012. It's been Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and then this year's Infinity Ward. Still, presumably, Modern Warfare 4 is doing good, and that's going to come out in 2019. 2020's game, though, total restructure. Originally, Raven was actually the lead. So Raven Software, Raven Studios, the guys who have helped out with the past Call of Duties, have helped out with Black Ops 4. They were the lead on Call of Duty 2020 with Sledgehammer as support. So already that's some interesting news. However, Raven is no longer the lead. Treyarch is now the lead on 2020, and they are working on Black Ops 5. This is all from Jason Schreier's report. They are reusing or refitting the story that Raven and Sledgehammer was working on, which was presumably a Vietnam Cold War era story. So now that story is not scrapped that Raven and Sledgehammer was working on, but just Treyarch is going to have supervision and leadership on it. Treyarch, this, of course, definitely shortening Treyarch's development time for this. They're kind of scrambling in a sense because they were expecting to have 3 years to make a game in 2021, but now they have to lead a game that's coming out in 2020. Continuing on some other information that Jason pointed out in the article, Black Ops 4 actually didn't have that long of a tail sales-wise, making revenue-wise for Activision. It was just a big launch in the beginning, but, over the past few months, the expectations haven't hit sales numbers. That's probably due to the microtransactions we've always been talking about here. An interesting thing about that is, quote from the article, Activision executives have started to talk about embracing free-to-play as a revenue model once against it to the publisher. They were never really about free-to-play. And 3 sources say are looking into offering a free-to-play component for this year's new Modern Warfare. Some more history. Sledgehammer has been in trouble since Michael Condrey and Glenn Schofield were ousted last year, and they've been hemorrhaging employees over the past few months. And so we're just going to jump in, say what we think this means for Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 4, Black Ops 5. Yeah, let's get into it. So what do you think?
Well, first things first, I don't think this affects Modern Warfare 4, or presumably Modern Warfare 4. It's all about confirmed at this point. I don't think it affects that game at all. And I mean, unless Raven or Sledge were assisting with that studio, with Infinity Ward, I don't think it affects that at all. I think it's clear now why Black Ops 4 is the way it is. At least the way it's being supported right now. Maybe not at launch. I mean, obviously at launch there was, or in development leading up to launch, we didn't get a campaign at all. I mean, I don't. Specialist HQ doesn't count. It just doesn't count. I know there was some nice looking cutscenes in it, I guess, but it doesn't count. So that I think is a side issue that is like, well, maybe Treyarch can't handle doing campaigns anymore. So this might be good news in that sense of if Raven and Sledgehammer are going to be assisting with the campaign, so Treyarch can worry about the single player. Maybe that's good news.
You also got to remember that Raven and Beanox are, their developer logos pop up when you open up Black Ops 4. They helped work on Black Ops 4 as well. So
right, and we don't know to what extent, but
yeah, exactly.
At least Raven is, I would assume they're familiar with working alongside Treyarch. So hopefully that's good news. It could be a blessing in disguise if they can pull it off. Which I mean, the cycle it's already a year and a half out from this game launching. So I mean, if they
presumably November.
If they could pull it off, I think it might be a blessing in disguise going back to the Cold War with Black Ops, because a lot of people, myself included, a lot of people really wanted to see a follow-up to Black Ops 1 story with a game, following that kind of timeline. You know what I mean? So it went from the Cold War to what was it, 2025? What was it in Black Ops 2? And then there was some missions with the 80s, with the older Mason. But I want to go back. I want to play as Mason. I want to play alongside Woods and Hudson. So campaign wise, that could be a blessing in disguise. I think it'd be cool to go back to that time period. I think there's a lot that we can still talk about and go over in that time period. But again, that's if they can even pull it off. It's going to be a Herculean task at this point. Basically recalibrating the game. Who knows if they're going to be recasting actors for the campaign, if the mocap has been done, hasn't been done, it's partially complete, got to bring people back. Doing VO, of course, is always going to take a lot of time and a lot of money. I don't know, man. This looks like bad news. I won't be surprised if they just say, all right, Black Ops 5 2021, no Call of Duty 2020. Or that's when Blackout or whatever whatever they end up doing long term with Battle Royale, maybe that comes out next year. I don't know. We got to keep up with it, but
I don't think Activision could afford at all to not have a full Call of Duty 2020, because you got to remember 2020, fall 2020 is when the new systems come out. PS5, Xbox.
It's a great point. It's a great point. And this game was presumably going to launch on both consoles. So
title.
The other thing too is, Activision as a whole, it hasn't been doing that good, at least colloquially. It's like Blizzard's not doing that well.
They lost Bungie, They sold Bungie.
They lost Bungie. And I'm talking hyperbolically. Blizzard is obviously fine as an overall entity, but the player base isn't really happy with Diablo. They're not really happy with World of Warcraft. Hearthstone's doing fine, I guess. But like a lot of Blizzard's properties, people are unhappy. They laid off a lot of people due to mismanagement, it seems, with hiring for positions that they quote unquote didn't need or whatever. That's a whole different topic. I don't want to even get into that. But you're right. It's a big deal for Activision as a whole, because Blizzard is kind of misstepping in some places. I do think World of Warcraft Classic is going to help a lot. But what else? Like you said, no Destiny is massive because a new Destiny would have presumably launched next year, right? Because this year is probably going to be like the Rise of Iron of Destiny 1, and then next year would have been Destiny 3 if they had kept Bungie and going according to the same kind of plan.
Yeah, so they're totally losing on all revenue or any player base from those games.
So they have to have a Call of Duty, man, and it's got to be. And who knows? This change could have shifted months and months ago. We're just because we're hearing about it now doesn't mean Treyarch is just now getting on with a year and a half. So we don't know the whole story. This isn't even confirmed yet. Obviously, I do trust Jason Schreier, but just all things considered, it is. Not confirmed yet, so.
And speaking about other stories that Jason might have, he alludes to at the end that he's going to have a story coming in the next couple of weeks, or I think later this month, he said, about what happened in Black Ops 4's development, which is extremely interesting. Because
can't wait to talk about that. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that as
well. I imagine, a restructuring like this, Raven leading a game that Sledgehammer was supposed to lead, now Treg. I imagine over the past 2 years at least, shit has been wild. Shit has definitely hit the fan, whatever's going within the Call of Duty studios. But I guess speaking positives, if we see some better monetization with Modern Warfare this year, if it does some free-to-play stuff, they want to put some free-to-play components in it. Maybe they'll sell like the main game at some point. Like if you pay $60, you get like the premium edition with like a battle pass or whatever things they might offer. And then there's still a free version, which is like maybe less maps or something. There's definitely some things they could easily rework a Call of Duty into to fit.
See, I think free to play when I hear free to play, I think about their battle royale.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I don't think their core multiplayer and campaign suite will ever be free to play. I think it could be like a $20 battle pass bundle thing, like they do on Battle.net. They have like the $40 version for just multiplayer and Blackout. I can see them doing something like that where it's like $40 or $20 or whatever for multiplayer and campaign, and then I see the battle royale being their free to play route, unless of course I don't really even know how Blackout is doing numbers wise, compared to like PUBG or nothing compares to Fortnite, but compared to PUBG.
You're saying player base or money wise or revenue wise?
Kind of both. How much of Black Ops 4's revenue is from Blackout, and how many players are playing Blackout compared to like Fortnite and PUBG and Apex Legends and
at least revenue wise, it seems like, according to what Jason's saying, it seems like those microtransactions aren't doing that well. But then just back to Modern Warfare, some free to play thing, just an idea. I thought like maybe you could offer the online free, let's say if there's no Blackout and it's just Spec Ops campaign and multiplayer.
I think Modern Warfare is going to be doing the Spec Ops stuff. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So for like maybe for Modern Warfare 4, have the multiplayer like free, but you can't change your class maybe. So it's like free to play, but then if you want
you only have or you only have the default classes and then
the base class.
I could see. Okay.
a lot of interesting stuff. I'm really excited. I kind of makes a lot of sense for why Black Ops 4 is the way it is based on all this turmoil in the studios, but we'll have to see. Activision, of course, declined to comment. But we're waiting. We're excited to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting times for Call of Duty, especially because this contraband for Black Ops 4 is ending soon. Let's see if they shake anything up with the next contraband, because it's technically these are going to be the same. It's one season, but 2 contrabands is what I'm understanding for Operation Spectre. Yeah. So we'll see. Keep it tuned here at Faster Than Reloading. Jeff and I will be back very soon talking more about Call of Duty. Thank you for watching.